Okay, here's the big question. Solar panels or no solar panels? I have wanted to make this video for a little bit, but this is going to be a video from a real estate agent point of view in my experience only in the last couple years about talking to home sellers who have solar panels on their home, okay, that they've gotten in the last 2 to 3 years. This video is going to be based on those conversations, and that's it. Okay, so there's other videos out there that will talk about pros and cons, and you can just watch all those. This one's about conversations I have had as a licensed professional real estate agent here in Central Florida in the last 2 to 3 years. Okay, here's some warning signs about solar panels that many people don't think about. And I'm going to go over 6 reasons, and then we're going to talk about real practical situations that have happened and that I've seen and walk through with my clients. So number one, the cost is much higher than most people realize. These solar panels are not cheap. And if you're pricing them out, you're probably seeing they're anywhere from $25,000 to $50,000, depending on what type you're getting. The people that I have worked with, they have owed anywhere between, I would just say, $25,000 to about $45,000 in solar panels. That's what they pay for them. Okay, so even with tax credits, you're going to still finance a large amount with this. And many times you need to understand there's going to be some maintenance, there's going to be interest, insurance impacts. Here's the bottom line. You're taking on a long-term debt. That's something that is attaching to your shingles into your roof. We'll talk more about that later. Number 2, break even takes too long, which is one of the main things. If you're a numbers person, here's what I'm going to tell you. There's going to be a couple hard bullet points, and this is going to be one of them, that solar only makes sense if you're going to stay in the home long enough. The people that I've worked with buy solar, put it on their roof, save money on their power bill, and then they go to sell 2 to 3 to 4 years after they get it installed. It's not a good idea. I can tell you this right now. I've had some hard conversations with people on what buyers are looking for, what you're probably going to experience, Mr. Home Seller, if you go to sell your home without, first of all, paying these off, right? Which we're going to talk more about that later, or figuring out how to get somebody to assume this solar panel lease. Good luck. So the break even is way too long. Most systems are going to take 10 to 15 years, and we're going to talk numbers a little bit in a minute, but if you sell 2 to 3 years, you're not going to recoup the investment. So buyers rarely pay dollar for dollar extra for solar. So if you're not staying long-term in this house, if this is not going to be a home that's 10 years or longer, don't do it. Number 3, solar can make your home harder to sell. 100% true. Which most sellers don't think about that. I'm telling you, here's what happens. These solar salespeople, good people, not slamming them. Okay, what they do, their motives, let's just talk about this. They go through these neighborhoods, they show these demonstrations, the electric bill, the power, what they're going to save, the monthly, the whole thing. I'm telling you, I go into a neighborhood and I can see solar everywhere. And then we start having conversations, and I'm like, these sellers get hoodwinked, man. They get talked into something that they actually didn't even understand long-term effects. It's happened a lot. And I think there's going to be more cases of people that we as real estate professionals have conversations with where we talk to homeowners and they're like, oh, shoot, I never thought about that. So here's the thing. Buyers may not want to, and more than likely will not want to, assume a solar loan or a solar lease. Number 2, appraisers don't often add value for solar, not full value. They will give some value, but not full value typically. And then some buyers will just walk away entirely when they hear a solar contract has to be assumed. So what may have gone, the primary motivation for the home seller was to be a benefit, it's like a deal killer. Okay? Number 4, solar leases and financing are a major red flag. Here's what you have to know. Many systems are leased and they're not owned. So sellers have to pay off the system, transfer the lease, or reduce the price to compensate. And I'm telling you, this creates friction, delays, failed contracts. It is a red flag when you go to sell a house and you are asking the buyer to assume your solar lease. Here's what I've seen a couple times, is that you say, okay, there is a $35,000 solar lease. Okay, you price the home without that being paid off. Mr. Buyer, you've got to apply for the lease through the solar company to qualify for $35,000 worth of solar panels, which is an extra debt, which will be larger on your debt ratio with your lender. Keep that in mind. You're going to have an extra payment of whatever it is, $350. Okay, you're going to have that debt along with your mortgage debt. You're paying for these solar panels. The solar panel companies have already got their money from the initial homeowner, right? They've already got their money. So now, do you think they're going to be super motivated to talk to you to qualify you to assume the same debt that they're already getting paid for by the previous homeowner? Their motivation level is pretty low. I'm telling you, it's going to be a bear to go assume that financing to do that. If you've had different circumstances or situations where that's not the case, comment below. I'd love to hear that. Honestly, the situations I've walked through have not been good whenever we've tried to work with this. Number 5 is this: roof and maintenance issues. Remember, these things are attaching to your roof, so roof repairs become more expensive. You know, the panels may need removal, reinstallation. Got to think about that. Damaged or aging roofs complicate insurance and inspections. And so buyers think about that future cost when they go to purchase a home like that. Number 6, utility savings are often overpromised. These sales pitches that these guys give you are aggressive. The savings is going to depend on your usage, the rates, the sun exposure, future policy changes. You've got to look at every single factor. Here's the bottom line. If you've watched this far, here you go. If you have a home with solar panels, more than likely, you are going to need to pay those off if you have a loan on them at time of closing. Majority of the buyers do not want to assume an additional $35,000 loan, right, when they're going to already buy a $300,000 house. They don't want to do that. So you've got to have the equity in your home, which your local real estate agent can help you figure, to pay those things off at time of closing. It's a big lump in sellers' throats whenever I go over this with them. They're like, oh, shoot, I didn't even think that through, right? They get caught up in the monthly savings, woohoo! But they don't realize I've got a $35,000 debt, like a second mortgage, a lien against my house that has got to be paid. Man, please consider that. This is like a warning to people who are thinking about solar panels and maybe selling, just call it in the next 5 years. Here's what I would say. First thing, caveat this. If you can pay cash for solar panels, go for it. Totally fine. Absolutely, that's awesome. Pay cash for them, get your monthly savings, right? Do the numbers to make sure it makes sense. Need to do that. So if you're paying $50 for an electric bill, right, but your payment on these is $350, they're costing you $35,000. Do the numbers. How long is it going to take you to recoup your $35,000? It's going to take you years, 10 years, 12 years, 8 years, depending on your interest rate, how much you put down, and yada, yada, yada. There's going to be a lot of factors in there. Bottom line is, if you're trying to sell in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you're bringing money to the closing table. It's coming out of your home equity to sell a house. All right? Hey, solar panel salespeople, love you guys, but man, be honest with homeowners when you are going to them and telling them about the situation. And those guys should be asking the question, can you pay cash for it? No? Okay. Hopefully you're staying in your home long enough for these numbers to make sense. The numbers have to make sense. Just like whenever you're refinancing a house and it's going to cost you X amount of dollars, make sure you're staying in that house long enough to recoup the closing costs you're going to pay between your current interest rate and your new interest rate. Same thing. It's a numbers game. The numbers don't lie. Anyways, all right. Hey, that is a little bit of a rant, but it's a truth talk. So hopefully this has helped you. Hey, do me a favor. Share this video with somebody who's thinking about getting solar panels or going to be selling or something like that. Hey, let me say that this is my experience. This is not the only point of view, but I really do hope you hear that. But here's what I want to ask. Comment below your experience with solar panels If it's worked for you or friends that you've had, here's the reason. So other people can understand more before they make this large investment on their home. All right? God bless you guys. Have a great day, whether selling or buying. You got to call Brian.